This video is about talking to Jehovah's Witnesses who want to debate with you. Hopefully you can avoid these situations, but they come up sometimes. It happens on this YouTube page. Every now and then somebody trolls the page and it's a witness that's on my page and they want to argue about something. And if you're watching this, you're not supposed to be here, so naughty you. You're not supposed to be watching these videos, are you? Well, sometimes also you might be, walking down the street and walk past a cart where they're preaching and they might recognize you. It's happened to me before, where they recognize me and they want to save me and they want to ask me a bunch of questions. And normally I try to just tell them, hey, I respect you, it's all good, I'm good, but they want to save you, and when I do choose to speak to them, which may happen to you, because I'm not this fellowship, I demand three things. Now, when you start off, remember what I'm going to say, because with Jehovah's Witnesses, you want to control the conversation. See, Jehovah's Witnesses are conversation bullies. They like to control the conversation because they're not really listening. They're waiting to talk. There's a big difference because they're not open to anything from what they know. So when people are like that, you're not really listening. So I demand these three things. And this freaks them out because they don't even consciously know they do this. But I begin to corner them in from the beginning and I say, listen, if I talk to you, we're going to talk for at least 20 minutes, no less than 20 minutes. Can you agree to that? And they're usually excited about that because they don't know where I'm going with that. They're like, yeah, sure, okay. And you cannot tell me that you're going to do research and come back. You can't end the conversation saying, I need to research that, and you want to go now because you can't answer something. Okay? Can we agree to that? All right, you can't tell me that you've got somewhere to go. Right? You're going to cut the conversation short because you got somewhere to go, or it's your phone's ringing. I've had them where there's a pretend phone call. Somebody at the end of the wall was calling the person that I'm talking to so he could end the conversation. He saw that this guy was over his head, and the brother on the end of the wall called the guy on the phone. Then he said he had to go. Okay, and the third thing is, you cannot tell me that we're going round and round. They always use that one. They use these things because that's their way out when the heat comes on. When they can't answer questions, these are their responses when they get stuck. So I take those away right from the start. When you speak to Jehovah's Witness, never discuss scripture or doctrine. Why? Because these are the things you'll end up going round and round about. You can make scripture back up anything you want if you take a verse out of context. The Ku Klux Klan uses scripture to back up their thoughts. Okay? Because they take things out of context. Scripture says a lot of things. I mean, the scripture could back up slavery if you wanted it to. So you never want to go there. You want to concentrate on their history and you want to ask questions. When you ask questions and when you can think of yes or no questions, two things, it locks people in their answer. People hate questions. They like wiggle room. Jehovah's Witnesses love wiggle room. A lot of times they double talk. They love wiggle room, but when you lock somebody into an answer, then you can hit them with a couple more questions that come off that answer. Well, if you said no then, and then you've got your facts. You know more now about the history of witnesses and things that even go on today than the witnesses know, because their information is controlled. They only get their information from one source. So you know a lot of things. So you could bring up things about the United Nation or things about the history and all kinds of things. And the newer witnesses, if somebody's less than 40, they know nothing about things like 1975. They know no history of no memory of even things that weren't even that long ago. They just don't know. They just know what's in front of them right now because, again, their history is controlled. So make sure you answer or ask yes or no questions. Now what's going to happen is they're going to try to dominate the conversation. When they can't answer something, they're going to throw something out there like the Trinity or hell or, what happens after death, or they're going to try and get the conversation back to their comfort zone. See, Jehovah Witnesses are like a train on a track, right? They're like a train that goes round and round, and they're very, very proficient at what's on those train tracks. So all those stops on the train route, that's what they know. What you want to do is take them off the train tracks and into the deep weeds, right? The four-wheeling territory. Because out there you've got to think. You got to think for yourself. Jehovah's Witnesses are programmed. They're not thinkers. They're not really thinking. They're programmed. That's why you always know what they're going to say before they say it, because they're not really thinking. They're just regurgitating what's been put into them. But when you take them off into the deep weeds, they get real nervous because they don't know anything about that. What they know well. What they don't know, they know almost nothing of. So there's a lot of things that you know they don't know because you didn't know all the years you were in a Jehovah Witness. You did not know a lot of the things that you might know today. So you always want to control the conversation. Now, if you don't let them come back to Scripture, and what I always do is that we're not talking about that, you're changing the subject. They'll always try to change the subject. Yeah, but, I go, no, but nothing. You didn't answer my question. We're going to stay right here. They're going to always try and move the conversation to a territory that's more comfortable for them. Now, if you don't allow them to do this, what will happen is they will personally insult you. They will personally pick on you. They'll pick on something about, the lifestyle they think or they assume you live now, or something about your physical appearance if it doesn't look like a witness. They're going to call you prideful and arrogant and you're not humble. That's why you can't take direction. They're going to say all those kinds of things because they don't know what to say. And this is how you speak to a Jehovah's Witness. You control the conversation and you make them agree to your boundaries because they're wanting to talk to you. Then they won't want to ever talk to you again. I have these people that were near this booth that I had to walk by every day, and they just look the other way when I walk by because, they know that they can't control the conversation with me. So just some tips. I hope that made some sense to you, but take care. I'll see you in the next video.